He sneered across the ballroom, champagne glass in hand. People like you don't belong here. Laughter rippled as Lydia Monroe's donation was mocked, her invitation ripped, and her husband shoved aside. Phones captured every second of the humiliation, elite guests whispering, waiting for her to break. But Lydia didn't flinch. She smiled, because the black woman they tried to erase wasn't just a guest. She was the CEO holding billions in her hands. And in minutes, their empire would collapse. The chandeliered ballroom of Astoria House glittered, every crystal sharp, every smile sharper. A quartet stitched polite music, while Manhattan's anointed arranged themselves like a living museum of entitlement. At the marble entrance, the head usher barely hid his doubt. Invitation? Lydia Monroe held it out. Navy dress, pearl studs, posture that read boardroom and battlefield. Beside her, her husband Andre kept a steadying hand at her back. A voice sliced the foyer. This is a private event. Victor Harrington, tailored cruelty, arrived with his wife Celeste and their son Preston. Standards matter. The usher cleared his throat. They're slated for table 3. Celeste laughed, crystalline and mean. Table 3 is for platinum patrons. Perhaps there's been a clerical fantasy. Table 3, Lydia said, calm, precise. Reluctant capitulation. The usher led them through aisles of diamonds and approval. At table 3, the Harringtons ruled the neighboring table like a minted portrait. Preston swiveled, grin curled. We curate this room. New to the city? New to philanthropy? New to neither, Andre said. One never knows who wanders in when guest lists get ambitious. Celeste mused to friends, voice calibrated to carry. Victor studied the auction program. Scholarship lot opens at $500,000. A knife of a smile. Daring number for newcomers. When bidding opened, Lydia raised her paddle. 500. Victor, 6. Lydia, 7. Preston, too fast. 8. 9, Lydia said. The gavel cracked. Sold. Applause was thin. Celeste's pity smile snapped into place. Let's hope bank transfers move faster than ambition. Andre's chair scraped. Lydia's hand found his wrist. Not yet. Preston leaned in, wine-bright and cruel. What business are you in, Lydia? Influencing? Cosmetics? So many aspirants. Portfolios, Lydia said. Nothing else. Phones appeared openly now. The violence of performance had an audience. Celeste's gaze dropped to the invitation. A quick, mean flick tore its corner. The paper fluttered to marble. Paper's fragile. So are illusions. Andre rose halfway, breath sharp. Lydia didn't move. You've said enough, she told Celeste, quiet as a scalpel. The damage had already been curated for millions. Hashtags bloomed like oil on water. In the reception hall, escalation. Victor lifted his glass to orbiting donors. We must discuss thresholds. Exclusivity used to mean something. Lately it means anyone with a printer and a dream. People who belong, Celeste added, lacquered and lethal. People like you, Preston told Lydia, smiling for the cameras. Andre stepped close, jaw iron. Lydia glanced up, as if measuring the ceiling. Not rage, he realized. Calculation. Her phone buzzed. She read one message, then another. When she looked up, her eyes were colder, clearer. Mr. Harrington, she said, voice carrying, repeat your remark about standards. Magnanimous in certainty, Victor obliged. Standards protect institutions. From risk, from dilution. Useful word, Lydia said. Dilution. Security started forward, uncertain. When a clipped voice spilled from Lydia's phone on speaker. Miss Monroe, Elaine Cho, Chief of Staff. The emergency call with Harrington Capital requests confirmation on tomorrow's bridge terms. $30 billion, same covenants. Their CFO has phoned 3 times. Conversations detonated. Celeste's smile ruptured. Preston blanched. Victor went still. Harrington, Capital? Someone whispered. That Harrington? Lydia let the silence hum. Then to the phone. Cancel the call. Effective immediately. Withdraw from negotiations with Harrington Capital and all subsidiaries. Prepare the statement. A glass shattered. Gasps rolled like surf. Victor found gravel. You can't possibly. Who do you think you are? The person you decided didn't belong, Lydia said, including the circle of cameras and trembling servers. The person who writes the checks you assumed you were entitled to. Monroe? Preston stammered. As in, Monroe Holdings? Lydia looked to security. You were coming to escort someone out. Make sure it's the right people. 2 guards straightened, suddenly meticulous. Their line of sight shifted to the Harringtons. Miss Monroe? Victor tried, emergency smiling now. This is a misunderstanding. You were clear, Lydia said. So am I. Her phone chimed again. She raised it. Statement released. Market notified. Press holding, Elaine reported. The ballroom's scaffolding groaned, the kind only money hears. Donors drifted back. Phones multiplied. A dam broke. Celeste's poise cracked. You can't do this to us. I didn't, Lydia said. You did. She gestured to the torn invitation. You declared value. I'm honoring it. Minutes became ripples. A board member hissed into his phone. A news alert blinked. Trading halt at Harrington Capital, pending material disclosures. Andre exhaled, door unlocking soft. Lid. I know, she said, taking his hand. Security hesitated. Lydia stepped onto the small stage by the auction displays and faced the room like an earnings call. This isn't revenge, she said, voice steady. It's governance. You preach stewardship. Tonight you saw what happens when gatekeeping replaces character. She pointed to the scholarship board. The $30 billion leaving Harrington won't vanish. It funds founders no one here returns calls to. HBCUs, community lenders, apprenticeships. Real ladders, not velvet ropes. Reporters arrived. Flashes stitched the air. Victor stood rooted, a monument to a vanished empire. To the staff who served with dignity, Lydia added to the waiters. Your tips are doubled, paid by Monroe Holdings. To those recording, keep recording. Sunlight is efficient. The quartet stopped. What replaced them was stranger and truer, the low thunder of a hierarchy failing in public. Outside, under a hard Manhattan moon, a black SUV door opened. Andre guided Lydia toward it. Behind them, the Harrington names slid off screens, replaced by numbers that do not forgive. Before she entered, Lydia looked back through the glass to the little stage. Belonging, she said softly, was the smallest thing they imagined for us. And the least interesting, Andre replied. The SUV pulled away while the city refreshed its feeds, and the story recalibrated what power looks like when it stops asking for a chair and builds the table instead. Don't just watch. Act. Smash that like button. Share this story everywhere, and drop a comment with where you're watching from and the moment that hit hardest. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because these bold stories of truth and justice are only just getting started.